Endless Evolution is a community engaged in the exploration of human experience. We engage with one another to understand our unique paths. We talk, we laugh, we heal, and we invite others to share this journey with us. Won't you join us? Endless Evolution.
So many humans, and where's the humanity?
So how are we, Aaron and Spencer?
We
Good.
are good. We are good.
Oh, it's been I don't know. I don't know, since the last time we talked, I'm just jumping right into it. I stopped watching TV.
Oh,
Wow.
yeah, man. Yeah,
I've stopped watching
yeah,
live TV,
yeah,
Yeah,
right? Like I watch
That's what I
TV
meant.
shows.
Yeah.
that's
Okay,
what I
yeah.
meant. Yeah.
All right.
yeah, yeah.
That's a smart thing, isn't it?
It
It-
is. It is. I've stopped watching the news. I don't even really watch the news anymore. I see something on the feed, but I don't watch it like I used to. Same for me.
I was
Same for me.
watching the news in the morning, first thing in the morning at 4, 4:30, 5,
Yeah,
6, and 11.
yeah,
That's a lot
yeah,
of,
man.
especially of like local
Yeah,
news. How are you doing
Yeah.
that?
yeah,
I don't know.
yeah,
And it was like dragging me down.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's what it'll do.
Oh, I just got
That's
back from
that's what.
Spain and I
Yeah,
know I feel the difference in my body when I'm not in this country
yeah,
because although the Spaniards watch news 24/7, right? Because it's not my news, because I'm not intimately impacted by it, I feel so free not knowing what's going on, like,
mm,
and being able to just focus on life and,
yeah,
doing what
yeah,
I'm doing over there. Um, it's incredible. And then as soon as I get back here, I just there's a feeling in the air. It's so heavy here. Um, yeah. I think more people should stop watching the news. I know,
yeah.
Aaron, I passed on to you that one email newsletter. Did you sign up for it?
I
14th?
did. So I have been reading those. It's just
Yeah.
it's much different because like the image, you get that um what's the word I want to use? Like the gratuitousness. I don't even know if that's a word
Mm,
or not, but I'm gonna make it a word today. Like like all of that, your brain can only take so much of the imagery. And so I don't want to turn away from it, but I also it can, you can overload your brain with
Yeah.
sadness. Yeah.
Yeah. So Spence, it's a news, like, it's not a newsletter. It's like a news update, a daily news update on
I
every
like that.
topic in the world, culture, politics,
Yeah.
science, like, and it's called 1440. I
Send
can
me that,
email it to you, and then you can just
please.
sign up at the bottom,
You
and
sign up
it's
for it, okay?
yeah, and it's just the news, like it's just updates, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like it doesn't
I love it.
seem
yeah,
biased.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah,
it's reporting things, right? Giving
yeah,
you
yeah,
summary facts and things like that. So
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And it does something different for your brain
Yes.
when you read it like that, rather than
Yeah.
watching, like you said, the imagery and watching, how the medium, how it comes through your whole being. So yeah, please do. Yeah, I would sign up for that. I would definitely sign up
Yeah,
for
I'll
that.
forward it to
Yeah,
you.
yeah, 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 yeah. Well, you already started, Aaron. This is it's a special day for you and Tiffany. I mean, you
Yeah.
can. I'll say you go ahead and share. We usually come on at about 6 or 7, but we started earlier today, and
Yeah.
it would be good for everybody to know the occasion.
Yeah, I appreciate, first of all, I appreciate you all agreeing
Yeah,
to switch
yeah,
or just move it up just a little bit. And I don't take that lightly because I don't want to assume that, it's centered around my schedule or anything like that. But um so today is my wife's birthday. She's 40, she turned 49 today. And oh, sorry.
Hey, that's a good age. Celebrate it. She should be proud because she looks damn good for her age.
I,
She's a beautiful woman.
Yeah, yes. And she has a really good heart.
Mm,
And in my older age, I just totally just I don't know how I just dropped the date, when we first planned this. And then so what are we going to do today? We're going to go to eat at the Park restaurant in downtown Detroit, and I have tickets for John Legend. So that's going to be your gift, and
Yeah.
And
I
by
don't
the
want to
time
hear.
she listens to this,
That's
her
nice.
birthday
Yeah.
will be over. So.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah. Oh, good, good. Okay. She listening now. No.
um,
Yeah.
and share what that I took her. It's almost like a thing now. Take edible arrangements on her birthday, and so she usually shares them with her students. And I'm sure because she didn't bring it in, so I'm sure that's what happened to the rest of the fruit bouquet is that she shared it with her. And I'm so happy that she does because they are sweethearts too. So
When you say edible arrangements, I can taste the pineapple with the dark
I
chocolate. That's my
know.
favorite. It's my
Yeah.
favorite one. It's so good.
I used to keep them in business, man.
yeah,
Edible arrangement. So, so listen, Naomi. I think October 24th, y'all are so special. Naomi, you have someone
Yeah,
special in your life who has
my
a
eldest
birthday.
brother. It's
Yeah.
his birthday today. He's
This is-
turning 65 and has now become the longest living Khalil man ever.
Mm.
Because my father died at 55 and his brothers died younger and my grandfather died younger. So it's a momentous day for my brother.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I used to think that was so, about 55, like my dad passed at 59. I used to think
Right.
that was old, but it's not. And then it is my older cousin, who's really like an older sister to me, because when her dad, who was my dad's younger brother, moved in or passed away years ago, she moved in. She's really like my older sister, Judy Murray. It's her birthday too. And so, yeah, it's her birthday too. She's probably 68 or 67. But October 24th, special
wow.
day. Yesterday was my sister-in-law Sherry's birthday. And so want to say that to them. Happy birthday to her too. So and it's good to see everybody celebrating,
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely,
you know,
absolutely.
Yeah.
and celebrating. So, y'all, I know it's been a long time since we did a recording.
Yeah, a recording because we've
A
talked,
recording.
of
We've
course,
talked and
right?
talked,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
we haven't done a recording in a while, and it's so good to be back. And Nay, it's so good to hear you talk about Spain and
Yeah.
all this celebration.
Yeah, so for the
What?
people listening, I bought a
Yeah,
house there this summer.
yes, that's right, that's right.
Most people
Uh,
come back with a shot
Yeah,
glass or a
yeah,
postcard,
yeah.
and I decided to come back with some
You came
property
back with a house.
and a house on it. Totally unexpected and unplanned, but it was a steal, and
Yeah,
it's a great place. I love Spain as a country.
yeah,
It's I've got family there, and I've always considered it a second home. So now I
yes,
actually have a second home that all of us can
yeah.
go hang out in
Yeah,
when
no
it's
doubt.
done. Yeah.
No doubt. Eric and I are already talking about it.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Yeah,
Hey,
we've done a
thank you.
lot of traveling in the States since we met last time, since we recorded last time. But it's always good to get away. We met some really good people and hung with some really good people. Now you talking about Spain, and I wanted to ask you, as you talk about Spain, what has that done for you? You know what I mean? Since the last
Mm,
time we met, last time we talked, we talking about evolving and stuff like
yeah.
that. What has that done for you?
Well, I would say since we've all talked, so much has happened. In terms of evolution, right? Just where my mind is and where my
Yeah.
heart is. Somebody said to me actually last week, they said, I just can't engage. I'm not a fighter like you. And I said, wow, that shows how little we've talked recently because I don't feel like I'm a fighter. I don't have that fighting spirit. And I think it just depends on how you define fighting.
Hmm.
So I think when we launched this podcast and at the beginning of this year, I was much in a like we have to do something, right? We have to create something. We have to create spaces where people can just be and voice all the feelings that they're feeling and also celebrate and create joy. But I was still in this like constant angst. All the time. There was a lot, as we've talked about on previous episodes, going on in all of our lives personally, lots of deaths, lots of health crises, etc. And when were able to break away this summer and go to Europe, which was the first time I'd been back in 15 years, which was monumental for me. And we went as a family and we spent 3.5 weeks there and we traveled. We went to Portugal and Spain, and then some of us continued and went to Germany and Austria, it gave me such a sense of renewed hope and feelings of true deep joy. I did not feel angst for 3.5 weeks. And it reminded me that everything is relative and everything is, you know, we are all just drops in a bigger picture of the world, right? So if I have the luck of being born in another country that's not living this reality, it's not that it's perfect, but it's not this reality. And so I found people in Spain and Portugal, all over Europe, laughing every day and being carefree and taking care of each other and having fun and getting in arguments and, like whatever, the whole range of emotion. But I did not feel this overall angst. And I was so renewed by that because it reminded me that humanity isn't lost. And it aided my own evolution into let me bring that same energy back here. Let me focus on being joyful and creating joy in real ways and not worrying about the present reality in which we're circulating, but keeping that reality of humanity in front of me, that this is just one spot in the world. It's not the spot. It's not the only thing that's happening. I don't know how to capture it other than to say that it renewed me in a space where I won't say I had given up. I was not doom and gloom, but I definitely had been in a space of conflict, ongoing conflict, conflict with the world, conflict with relationships, conflict with, empathy and apathy, right? Like those two things. And I don't feel the conflict on a daily anymore. And following Aaron's lead, I'm not really engaged in visual news anymore, which helps a lot. And I recognize and own the privilege that I have to do all of those things. And so, how I want to use that privilege is to, just use and explain and demonstrate the example of my own evolution with others, in hopes that maybe it inspires others as well to remember that, there are people in countries who've been living in dictatorships and angst and war for years, and yet they find ways to laugh all the time. And so just because now it's all relative, right? Just because our whole country is in crisis doesn't mean that we should not find ways to laugh and enjoy life and enjoy humans and stay connected to each other. And there are plenty of people, black people, brown people, indigenous people in this land who've been living in angst far longer than the generalized white public of America. So now that that's catching up, now it's an issue. Like, there's just so many things. And yet, if you think about, I grew up in poverty, you guys grew up in impoverished areas as well. And yet I know joy more intimately than a lot of my friends who had money. And I have to keep myself very cognizant of we are just some people of the world, not all the people of the world. There's joy out there. Let's not forget that. And let's remember that this is all cyclical and this too shall pass. And so it's done so much for my spirit to kind of put it into perspective where we are. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, man. I love that. Nay, I just thought of when you talk about this joy thing we've been talking
Mhm.
about,
Mhm.
that since we last recorded, or we've been talking, but you've been about the business of creating joy,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I think about when you talk about people over here who might be feeling all of this because many people felt entitled to joy.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? But there's a difference about creating joy. And so I celebrate that because you have to create it, because either you're going to drown in it or create it and do what you have to do. So I celebrate that. That's a really a practice that I think that's the purpose of this podcast, right? To model that and talk about creating joy and evolving. So now I love it. Aaron, I see, man. I see it. I feel you. I feel you, man. What's going on, man?
He's like giggly.
How you creating? How you
Anyone
creating
watching
it?
this will see
Yeah, how
it.
you
Yeah.
creating it?
I might have told you all this story so this summer I had the opportunity to travel to Ghana,
Mm,
and while there, I gained a whole new perspective about, similar to what you were just saying, Naomi, about the world, about joy, about what brings us joy. Like we have been conditioned in this country that money or material things bring you joy. And what I observed in the people there is that other people brought them joy. Um, they didn't have a whole lot, but they were joyful in the fact that if they did have something, not only were they appreciative of whatever little that they did have, they shared it willingly with other people. And that was like that just it just blew my mind. And I have a couple of examples, but one of
mm,
them was I was at the um I was at the counter of the hotel, and I was trying to exchange some money, and I owed the guy, I owed them some money, like as I was exchanging. And he was just like, "Oh, just bring it to me whenever." And I was like, "Wait, what? Like, I can just leave and I owe you money? I can just leave?" He's like, "Oh, just bring it back. It's no big deal." And I was thinking to myself, like, what? And that was just one example of like the culture that they built. Like he trusted that I was gonna bring it back. Like, and it was a substantial amount of money. Like he trusted I was gonna bring it back. Um, then another example I have was um there was a birthday celebration in a restaurant. And when we sing happy birthday, it's like happy
Right.
birthday.
So routine. Yeah.
It was just the most lively song that they were singing, and the whole restaurant, and they were speaking their national language is Twi, and so they were singing it in Twi, but it was just lively, and they were clapping, and everybody was happy. I'm like, that, yes, that's it right there. Um, and and so a couple of other experiences that really caused me to kind of rethink my relationship, not only with the world but with myself, um is we went to this river, and it's called the um Massine Slave River.
Mm.
And it's an area of Ghana where they were bringing people from all over Western Africa, to go to the Gold Coast, then to be in the castle, and then shipped off to the Americas. And there's a area of this river called the Last Bath, and it was the last bath that they had taken before they would go into the castle. But it was two rivers that were converging upon one another. One was really tranquil, and that was where the last bath took place. And then the one was like more of a rapid, and it was like they converged right there, but one side was rapid and one side was tranquil. Well, they wouldn't let the enslaved people go to the rapid side because they thought that it would, they would have the opportunity to escape, because they could go with the flow of the river. So that part of the river is called the Bath of First Return. And so the guide there just said, "Go here, stand in this river, let it wash over your feet, pray, release." His direction to us was release the burden and the trauma of colonialism.
Mm.
When I did that, I felt myself let it go. Now I haven't been able to let it go completely because I'm ingrained in the society, but I felt myself start to let it go. And it was like a cathartic moment. And I just uncontrollably, like I was just crying uncontrollably. But I felt, and it was almost surreal. I felt like this huge burden lift from my soul and from my spirit. I just felt it lift. And so, long story short, coming back home, I started looking at myself differently, my relationship with, you know, my relationship with myself differently, but my relationship with the people that I love, the relationship with other people. Like I don't approach things with the type of urgency that I used to. Like this constant movement. I let myself sit still and meditate and read and write, and writing. I've gotten back to writing poetry. um I I just go slow, and it's not good for the bottom line, but it's good for the bottom line of myself, um my inner peace.
Good for your soul.
It is. It has been absolutely amazing. I wish I could just describe it. If you've ever had those types of experiences, and so it has allowed me to just be more in tune with nature, to be more in tune with other human beings, to be more empathetic, to give myself grace, to give other people grace. I'm still angry about a lot of stuff, but like the anger is more directed and more of a concentrated into something productive and constructive rather than destructive. And so when you talk about like how do you build? I don't know if that's a question you asked, but like how do you build or construct from that? It's just been mostly in my writing and mostly in my just wanting to fix relationships, with people that I'm in community with. If there's a repair, to be made, to actively seek out how I can add to repairing whatever needs to be repaired.
Man,
Powerful, Aaron.
yeah, it is. It's amazing. And we celebrate it. As you all are both talking, I think about how I've experienced the same thing. Yet I didn't go to those. I would love to be in Spain and Ghana, but going through the same internal process, right? That same internal process I've been going through it too. And so when I hear the joy in both of you, and I think about the joy that I feel right now, it's like joy is like resistance. Joy is like, I'm not gonna let anybody steal my joy, and but you have to actively pursue it too. And you all are creating it. I think about all of our ancestors, right? And I think about all the trauma, all the pain, all the stuff for years, right? All that. And I think about that they had to find a way to transcend that pain and trauma. And it's almost like someone, when the attacks on the body, you transcend the body, really. You transcend harms and destruction done to the body to a different place, and you create joy from there. And I think about, wow, that you, Naomi, you, Aaron, me, we're like our ancestors' dream. They transcended it for us, so we could be there and learn that as well. So I transcending, like with you, like we all say, it doesn't mean that you don't know what's going on. It doesn't
Right.
mean that you don't,
It's
but
not
it
a head
means
in the sand.
it's not here.
Right.
It's not a head in the sand. But we are at a place where we're creating that now and creating that joy.
Yeah.
And so I'm just really moved by what's taking place in all of us since we last recorded. We've talked, but for people to hear that and see that, because I think it's a model for everybody to be in a place to create from that place, to
Yeah.
really create from that place. Yeah, I have to tell you this one last thing. I had all my blood drawn this morning, and for physical and some other things. And y'all, I didn't expect the results to come back that quick, and all the numbers came back, and they were better than they were the last time.
That's
And
awesome.
I know y'all that is part of the joy, is part of the unplugging from all
Yeah.
this stuff and creating joy. I know that that's part of it, right? You got diet, you got all that stuff,
Yeah.
but I know that's part of it. It's part of
It's a
wellness.
huge part. That's
It
awesome,
is. It
Spencer. I'm
is.
so
Yeah.
happy.
I had to text Erica because it's. I text Erica and we were both. She's at a conference in Charlotte, and so, but y'all listen. I did have a chance to go to, since we last talked, been to Utah, been to Austin, and going back. And what it just impresses upon me is there are good people. There are good people everywhere.
Yes.
And you will attract those good people when you stay in that joy. We can attract people that can complain and bitch, you know, no,
Right, right.
or we can attract good people, and there's good people everywhere, and it's beyond race, it's beyond these constructs,
Yeah.
and it just shows you that. And until you expose yourself to something different, until you travel, until you consciously and essentially do that, you won't know.
Right.
You won't know, and you think you
Yeah.
know. You think you know because you just exist in that. But that too, y'all, has helped me to just expand my lens, you know, and territory, and I'm just so grateful. Yeah, I'm really really grateful.
It's just a
Yes, yeah,
great feeling to
yeah,
be for the dominant feeling of my day to be peace and happiness and not angst. Like
yeah,
that's the biggest shift that
yeah,
that this evolution of the last six
yeah,
months without
yeah,
or however long it's been since
yeah,
we've been on the weekly recordings, probably not 6 months, probably like 3 or 4. But
yeah,
I feel like there's a couple things that both of you said that really stood out to me because I'm like, that's exactly it. That's the humanity. So Spencer, you said the creation of joy versus the entitlement to it.
yes,
And when you shift that basic idea that no matter the circumstances, you can find
that's
a
right.
way to smile.
Yeah,
You can look at examples across the world, people in war-torn countries, Palestinians dancing, right?
yeah,
People in protests dancing and finding fun. You look at the old films or that movie, Life is Beautiful, of the concentration camp when the man makes
mm,
joy for his child, right? Like
mm,
you can find joy in the most atrocious conditions. You can create it. That's how you find it, right?
yeah,
But if you're just expecting for other things, other people, other conditions, material goods, whatever it is, to bring you joy or to bring you peace, you'll never find it, which
mm-mm,
really explains why there are still a lot of populations out there in this country and outside this country that are just happy or that can figure out ways to be happy because they're not looking for something external to provide or
that's
create
right.
or give the joy. They're just creating it themselves, right? They're making jokes out of everything. They're laughing at it themselves. They're no matter what the situation, okay, the world's falling down around us, let's have a drink and have some
Yeah.
fun because
Yeah.
w- what do we gain by just crying about it or worrying about it or just railing against it? It's still falling down, right? So, it's not saying we don't do anything. It's not saying we put our heads in the sand and pretend like nothing existing. It's making the conscious decision to say, regardless of all this, I'm going to find ways to smile and to laugh every single day. And that shift alone can create the ripples that we need to shift kind of the waves. Aaron, you talked about that example at the front desk in Ghana.
Yeah.
I'm going to say what just happened to me in Spain. So we just went back to Spain and came back because we bought the house and we had to go and close on the house.
Mhm.
I had to open a bank account and I took American dollars to deposit, and they're like, "That's going to take too long. We don't need money to open the bank account." I'm like, excuse me? They're like,
Right.
"No, we just open the bank account. You can deposit money. You can transfer it from your American account." Oh, okay. We go to the closing, right? You both have bought houses
Mm,
before. At
Mhm.
closings, you sign a gazillion documents, and then they always want the check, right? The check for the realtors, the check for the closing costs,
Right.
the check for the notary or whatever. So we get to the end of the closing, and I'm like, okay, so what do I owe everybody? They're like, we'll send you a bill. It's like thirty days, you'll get a bill eventually. You can pay us. Like, we know you're good for it. I'm like, what?
yeah,
Where am I? But
unheard
it's
of here.
because it's unheard of. But what it boiled down to is that it's a community. They all know each other. They all know where each other lives. And
Yeah.
they're not going to come after you.
Right.
They trust in
The
each other's
trust.
goodness and that we're going to do good by each other, that there's no worry around that. They're like, well, you seem really worried. Do you need the bill right now? I'm like, no, no, I don't really need it. Take
I'm
your
used to
time.
getting it right now.
That's
It's
fine.
amazing.
But I said this is so different,
Yes.
different from everything I've experienced. And so I encourage everybody, go experience something different, whether that's the town over from you,
Yeah,
you know, a group of people that you don't know really, but you find them laughing, go insert yourself and figure out how to laugh with them. You know, the next state over or a country in another place, like whatever you can do, it doesn't have to be
Yeah,
across the world. You
Yeah.
can find that same like community and humanity here. You don't have to go abroad,
that's right.
but find it and figure out a way to laugh every day. Like laugh.
Every
It,
day.
Naomi knows this. There was a powwow here on Indigenous Peoples Day. It was the first one
Oh,
in 30 years. And so I expected to see a lot of Indigenous people. I expected to see all Indigenous people. I don't know what I was thinking, but like I went down there and everybody was there. Everybody, Black people, white people, Indigenous people, Asian people, like there to celebrate. I can never say the name right, and I won't even butcher it here. I'll have to practice it. But the original indigenous people of this area in Michigan,
mm,
um,
The
it,
Potawatomi? No.
Potawatomi.
it
That's
starts
what I
with
was
A.
thinking. Okay.
Is it
Ashkenazi?
Ashkenazi? Ashkenazi.
Ashkenazi.
I never get it right. Like when I'm trying to produce it, when I'm trying to pronounce it on my own, never get it
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Um, and when you talk about joy, like in your community, in your area, free, like joy, you don't always have to go out and spend money. You don't always have to go out and, you know, um, I'm going to say it, participate in capitalism, because that's what's been dragging us down. When
Hmm.
you told that story about, like, of course we know all nations are capitalists, but like unbridled in the sense that this country is, to when you go to a place that focuses more on communalism, or when you're in a space that focuses on community joy, community pride, community connection, that energy that comes from that is just it's amazing.
Mhm.
And you know it compels me, of course I do have the privilege to do so, but it compels me to travel more. It doesn't even have to
Yeah,
be outside of the country, but just
exactly.
travel more to see other communities and how they approach the world. I came
Yeah.
across this text just recently, and it's by Paulo Freire, and he said,
Mm,
"We read the world before we read the word." And so, um, I've been trying to practice that,
yeah,
just reading the world, like
yeah,
taking that in. Um, and it's just been absolutely amazing for my own health and well-being. And you said something, Spencer, regarding your health.
mm,
We as Black men, we experience detrimental health effects more so than a lot of other populations. And so the fact that you speaking about your the decline, and I don't know if you said your cholesterol
the
or
number, all the number. Yeah, the numbers.
that in and of itself brought me joy, just
Yeah,
to
man. Yeah,
hear
yeah,
how your health is
yeah,
improving. Like
yeah,
that
yeah,
it,
yeah,
it can be the tiniest thing, it can be a huge thing, but just looking for it
yeah,
everywhere.
yeah,
That's just,
yeah.
it's amazing.
Yeah, and no, it brought tears to my eyes, y'all. And here's the thing, here's the thing. So I have a doctor's appointment, one on the 5th, one on the 14th. I got a urologist, I got a primary care doctor. I was going to wait to go get my blood work because you get your blood work done before the appointment.
Right.
I
Mhm.
was going to wait as close as I could to the appointment
To get them as
and be
good as you
like,
can.
in these next 2 weeks, I'm not
Yeah.
going to eat this. I'm gonna, you know what I mean? And then I was out this morning with some time, and I said, you know what, Spence, just go do it now.
Mhm.
I went there, no one was there, and two people were in there. I got in, got out, got the results back today. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, everything. This is all reminding me, you all talking about joy. And I hope everyone hears this who's going to listen to this podcast because you can really forget this truth. Listen, y'all, I'm 60. I'll be 61 in January, right? I'll be 61. I don't care how many letters you got behind your name. I don't care how long you've been doing this. I've been doing it for 30 something years on some type of spiritual, you know what I mean? Over 30 years. It doesn't matter. We can forget if we get drawn down into the muck of what's going on, we
Mhm.
can forget that we can choose joy.
Hmm.
Yeah.
every day. You can choose it.
Yes.
And it's easy to forget because now to be up in this consciousness and to unplug from the stuff that's holding me down and holding us down, you can forget because the thing is, let's talk about love too. I mean, we don't own anything. We
Yeah.
don't own anybody,
Yeah.
right? Each day, Erica chooses to get up and stay with me, and I get up and choose to be with Julie. You choose to stay with, it's really not a given. Life is not a given. Ownership is not a given, although we act like it is. But to get up and intentionally choose it and create it, that's liberation right
Yeah.
there. Because when you are pulled down into that stuff, you think you don't have a choice.
Right.
You think you have to be angry. You think you have to be mad. You think you're doing some type of revolutionary act by staying mad and
Yeah.
cussing everybody out and you're not.
And this
You're
world
not.
would have us stay mad because
It would have us stay mad and
because then we're
angry
more
and all that.
disconnected from
Yeah,
each other and
that's
from
right.
what really matters.
That's
Yeah.
right. Separated and mad. That's why we choose joy, and that's why you've had the experiences you've had. So listen, I celebrated you all, and I hope everybody else does too. And I hope it's a model for everybody
Absolutely.
to choose joy because that's what our ancestors did.
Absolutely.
They chose joy. No, I mean you're talking about people who don't have
Anything.
any of the material stuff,
Yeah.
but they choose joy.
Well, and I it's not even just the material stuff. It's
Yeah.
like they might not have um an intact family unit. They might not
Yeah.
have like
Yeah.
I just when I think back about to my childhood and to some of the most happy, joyous moments, it's not at all those are none of those memories are related to material gain, to status, to accomplishment.
Yeah.
They're all connected to having a fun time with other people. Every
right.
single one of them.
Yeah.
They're not by myself. They're not, like these amazing moments where
Yeah.
I was playing baseball with friends
Yeah.
or, there's a joyous memory that I have of my lifelong friend Stephanie. Spencer, you know her. We
Yeah.
went to Grosse Pointe Public Library and copied our middle finger and put the middle finger copies on every car up and down Kirchville Avenue that we could.
I
That
love it.
that memory,
That is perfect.
I'm like, that's how that shit got on my car back in the 80s. I've been wanting that shit for 40 years.
like
No,
memories
but yes,
like that, they
that's
bring me
joy.
joy.
Yes,
That-
yes,
What?
yes.
Like it's
Yeah.
just I just want people to stop, unplug from
Yes.
the machines, unplug from the algorithms. If you can't do it all day, because it's an addiction, just like smoking or drinking,
Yeah.
you got to wean yourself off. Do it, and every
Yeah.
day add 5 to 10 more minutes of
Yeah.
not doing it if you can't go cold turkey. And find joy in those 10 minutes and find joy in that hour and make yourself laugh about something. Watch some stupid TV show that makes you laugh.
Yeah.
It's okay. Like it's all good. Because laughter helps the heart, helps the soul, and helps us stay human and helps us keep evolving, right? Because you got to choose evolution.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
You got to choose it. You got to choose it.
That's a good last. You got to choose evolution. That's it.
It's fun. I just wrote about that
Yeah.
Charles Darwin talked about it's not the biggest animal, or it wasn't the biggest animal or the strongest animal that survived. It was the one that was able to adapt to the animals that were able to adapt, that saw something coming. They had to. It just don't, it ain't gonna happen. You gotta think like, I can no longer go to that cold climate because
Right.
I don't have fur, right? So I gotta stay in the warm climate. That's it right there.
Yeah,
That's it.
adaptation.
I just Naomi knows I'm crazy in this regard. So like I'm reading 4 current books right now. I don't know what I'm thinking, but my brain is just like I don't have the TV show, so like I need to fill it with something.
Yeah.
And so I just started Be Water, My Friend by Shannon Lee, and it's about the teachings of her father, Bruce Lee. And it is so enlightening. Just he took on this philosophy that he wanted to be like water, and water can be calm and tranquil. It can crash, it can carve, it adapts to its surroundings. And he came up with this philosophy when he got angry one day, and he went out in his boat and he started punching the water. And he said, the water, it didn't do anything. He didn't hurt the water.
Right.
It formed around his hand. He tried to pick it up and it just flowed out of his hand. And so like he developed this whole philosophy on being formless and seamless like water, that it could, like I said, it could be mad and rushing and, carve out mountains over the course of millions of years, or it could just be calm and tranquil, or when it's held in some sort of container or is confined, it's always waiting to be released. And so that has just helped to allow me to think of being like that. Like, and going back to you all's earlier points, that some might say, oh, you need to be out doing something, you need to be out. Well, my contribution, and I look at it this way, my contribution to this world is myself, right? So if I'm not well physically, if I'm not well mentally, if I'm not well spiritually, how can I contribute? Like, you have to be well within yourself first before you can contribute anything. I don't care if it's with your body, with your words, with your, ideas, with your writing, with your counseling, with whatever it may be. You have to be right first. And so anybody that might criticize and say, yes, there are people who are the ones who go out and march and who fight, in their own ways. But there are also people in any revolution, and I'm not even talking about like a violent revolution, I'm talking about a revolution as in change. Like, there are people doing multiple things. There are lawyers, there are writers, there are counselors, there are spiritual healers, there are folks who they're musicians. Like, there's a role for each one of us. When we talk about evolution, we talk about revolution, we talk about change, there's a role for each one of us, and it's up to us to decide how we contribute to that.
Amen.
Amen. All of us have been doing that. This word came to my mind when you were saying that. We were talking about attacks on the body. You know what attacks on the body have done, and I think what it's done for us, and I think what all of us have done in this time since we last recorded together, is begin to embody what we are talking about. To embody love, to embody peace, to embody creation. We've been doing it to become the thing. That is the best thing you can offer the planet. Yes. And be the light when you walk in. And someone can see that. They can see that around you, Naaman. They can see that around you. And they can see it around me when we embody it. Here's the, guys, this is how, universe, God, whatever you want to call it. This is how this works out. So I have a quote. Right? I chose a quote before we even started.
I love it.
An hour before we got on. And here it is. Here it is. Almost everything will work again if you unplug it for a few minutes, including you.
I love it.
Man.
Who said that? You?
Anne Lamott.
Oh,
Anne
okay.
Lamott. No. That's a quote from Anne Lamott. I can't take credit. But everything will work again if you unplug it for a few minutes, including you.
Including us, right? Like your computer, it doesn't work. Just unplug and replug it back again. We're the same way. Unplug, plug back in, and find the damn channel of joy. Choose the channel of joy.
Look at Naomi. Preach now. Find the channel of joy. Yes. Yeah. Unplug. It's the only way to find it. So that is so appropriate. and
Yeah. It's a
so
great
listen,
way to wrap it up.
yeah, it's a great way to wrap it up. And so, much love for you all.
So,
Much love for Tiffany and her
Yes.
birthday,
Have
and
a great
Judy
celebration
and
tonight.
Keith, and
yes.
to everyone who's listening, who going to listen. Stay balanced, keep evolving, keep healing. Peace and love, everybody.
Until next time, everyone.
Until next
Hey,
time, y'all.
see you soon.
All right.
This episode of Endless Evolution is brought to you by the No Harm Organization, uplifting wholeness and humanity. Our featured music is Humanity by Lava La Rue.